Please listen closely, because what happened inside that frozen cabin didn't just change a night, it changed 2 lives forever. And if this story touches your heart, please like, subscribe, and comment your presence. Your support helps stories like this reach the people who need them. It began on a winter evening when the storm was already tearing across the mountains long before the sun even touched the horizon. Ethan, a single father trying to hold life together with threads that felt thinner each day, had taken an extra shift delivering supplies to remote towns. The pay was small, but every dollar meant groceries, jackets for his daughter, school trip fees, things most people took for granted. He didn't have that luxury. He was tired, more mentally than physically, but he kept going, gripping the steering wheel as snow hammered the windshield. His daughter's drawing was clipped above the dashboard, 2 stick figures, one tall with messy hair, one small with pigtails and a crooked heart between them. She made him promise he'd come home before she fell asleep. He said he would. Parents make promises even when they know fate isn't always fair. The wind howled, shoving the truck from side to side. Ethan squinted through the storm when suddenly he caught a glimpse of flickering hazard lights ahead. An SUV, luxury black, half buried in a snowdrift. He slowed down, heart pounding from the cold and instinct. He stepped outside. The cold hit him so hard it felt alive, sharp, unforgiving. He pushed through the wind until he reached the window. Inside sat a woman, shivering violently, her breath fogging the glass, her eyes wide with relief when she saw him. He pulled the door open. "You okay?" he asked, leaning in. She nodded weakly, her voice barely finding itself. "My car, it died. My phone doesn't work. I thought no one would find me." Ethan took off his gloves and helped her out gently. "Come on. You're freezing. You'll get hypothermia if we stay out here." When she stepped into the wind, she stumbled, grabbing his arm. He held her steady. She smelled like expensive perfume mixed with fear. Inside the truck, once the heater blasted, she exhaled a shaky breath. "I'm Naomi," she said softly. She offered a hand that was ice cold. He warmed it between his palms without thinking. "I'm Ethan," he replied. "We need shelter. There's a cabin not far, old, but safe." She nodded, still trembling. "Please, just don't leave me alone out here." The drive was tense and quiet. Snow swallowed the road. The storm thickened like a curtain. Naomi kept glancing at Ethan, his steady jaw, the scars on his knuckles, his calm breathing, like she was holding onto his presence to stay grounded. When they reached the cabin, it was nearly invisible under the thick layer of snow. Ethan fumbled for the spare key he hid under a loose floorboard years ago. The door creaked open, revealing a space lit only by the faint glow of moonlight through frost-covered windows. Ethan moved quickly. He lit the old fireplace, shook snow off blankets, and brought out emergency supplies he stored there. Naomi wrapped herself in one of his thick blankets, her teeth still chattering. "You saved me," she whispered, staring at him across the flickering fire. He shook his head. "Just did what anyone should." But the way she looked at him, she didn't believe that. Not for a second. As the fire crackled, warming the room slowly, they started talking. Just small things at first. But small things have a way of opening big doors. Naomi told him she was a CEO, a detail she dropped almost apologetically, as if embarrassed by it. I wasn't even supposed to be on the road. I had a meeting I needed to escape from. Sometimes I feel like I'm suffocating in my own life. Ethan nodded slowly. I get that. Life can choke you even when you're doing everything right. He told her about his daughter, about how she always left sticky notes for him in his lunchbox with drawings or misspelled affirmations like "You can do it, Daddy." Naomi smiled for the first time, a real smile, warm and soft. "You must be a great father," she whispered. His chest tightened at the compliment. "I'm trying. I hope that's enough." The night deepened. The storm raged louder. The fire popped softly. Naomi scooted closer, pulling the blanket tighter around her shoulders. Then she said it quietly, trembling not just from the cold. "Ethan, it's freezing. My blanket isn't helping enough. Would you mind if I slipped under yours? Just for warmth." He froze, not expecting such a request. "Are you sure?" She nodded, cheeks flushed from the fire and fear. "I trust you." That sentence hit him harder than the snowstorm. They shared the blanket. She rested her head lightly on his shoulder. Ethan stiffened at first, unsure if it was appropriate, unsure of anything. But when Naomi sighed softly and relaxed against him, his heart slowed. He didn't hold her, but he didn't pull away either. They simply existed together, two strangers becoming something fragile and new. After a long silence, she murmured, "You're safe. You feel safe. I haven't felt that in years." He swallowed. "People take advantage of you." "All the time," she whispered. "But tonight, I just feel human again." Minutes stretched into hours. The fire cast soft shadows. Their breathing synced. Naomi told him about her lonely apartment, her high expectations, the pressure, the betrayal from people she trusted. Ethan told her about losing his wife, about the nights he sat awake scared he wasn't doing enough for his daughter, about the emptiness that sometimes crept into his bones. Their stories floated in the dim firelight like confessions meant for no one else. At one point, Naomi whispered, "Why would someone like you help a woman like me?" Ethan chuckled softly. "Someone like me? Naomi, I'm just a man trying to help another person." She looked up at him, eyes glassy with emotion. "That's exactly what I meant." Eventually the storm softened, but neither of them moved. The closeness wasn't romantic, it was human. It was warmth. It was safety. It was two lives brushing against each other in the middle of nowhere. Naomi fell asleep on his shoulder, her breathing deep and steady. Ethan stayed awake for a long time, watching the fire, listening to the wind, and wondering why fate had decided to place a powerful CEO in his beat-up truck and then in his arms that night. Morning finally came. Cold, white, silent. The kind of morning that looks peaceful but carries the truth of everything buried beneath. Naomi woke up slowly, stretching, her hair messy, eyes soft. She looked at Ethan like she wasn't sure if the night had been real or just a dream born from fear and cold. But when he smiled awkwardly, she smiled back and the truth settled gently between them. "Ethan," she said, her voice warm, "last night, you gave me something I haven't had in a long time." "What's that?" he asked. "Honesty. Comfort. A moment to breathe." He looked down, suddenly shy. "Well, I'm glad you're okay." Her phone, now charged, buzzed non-stop. Messages, notifications, headlines. The world she belonged to came crashing back instantly. She stared at the screen, then at Ethan, torn between two realities. Finally, she stepped closer. "Ethan, I don't want last night to be just a moment we forget." He blinked. "You're serious?" "Yes." Her voice was steady, confident, CEO confident, but her eyes were soft. "You showed me a kind of kindness I haven't seen in years. And I want to see you again. Not because you saved me, but because you made me feel." He didn't know what to say. For once in his life, words wouldn't come. So Naomi reached for his hand. "Let me handle my world. And let me make space for you in it." He squeezed her hand lightly. "Okay. Then we'll see where this goes." She smiled, bright, genuine, hopeful. They stepped outside together, into the bright cold morning. The cabin behind them stood still, quietly holding the memory of a night when a storm forced two hearts to collide and find warmth in each other. And if this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and comment your presence. Your support keeps these stories alive, and helps them reach someone who needs warmth tonight.